Hey guys, so I wanted to, sitting here thinking about what we call Carenza in the Filipino martial arts, which is kind of like, think about it as like shadow boxing, right, for strikers. You know, it's visualization, right, it's movement, it's practicing your technique, your form, etc. And also kind of thinking about it in terms of, what I love about this art and is that, you can see the application, the combative application. But for me, I kind of like the medicinal or holistic approach almost more so than that. I hope to never have to go blade to blade with somebody. I think we all, pray for peace, right? That's what this is more about. Now, these are all legitimate striking patterns and stuff like that. But, that's kind of where the approach I'm coming from. Is a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical, and just a little bit more of like I use the term medicinal, but just something a little bit more on that holistic approach to it. And I'm using the training blade, so it kind of helps me target my cuts a little bit more, get the feel of the edge. But if you don't have one of these, just use a stick or anything. And what I'm going to do here is what I like to do with my students is kind of come up with, based off of some of our defensive techniques that we use and our angles of attack, and start putting together like patterns, if you will, right? Like forms, right? So one that I've been doing a lot with folks, and it feels really good to me and it's kind of fun, is we starting with this, what we call a roof block position. Now with the blade, when we do a roof block, what some people might call a roof block, there's two ways of thinking about it, and there's sometimes when they're actually blocking the blade, they're going to use the flat of the blade. However, a lot of times this motion is actually a cut, right? So they might be hitting this way and you're cutting into that attack. So I'm going to be using it more like an upward cut, right? So they might be striking me with what we call an angle 1, right? And so as I'm stepping out to my right, I'm cutting upward, and I've got my checking hand here just in case. And after I cut, I'm doing a downward slash here like this, right? So that's the first movement. Step to the right, upward cut, downward slash. When we're especially in blade work, we're always again thinking about bringing the arms back and not leaving them out here, right? Easy to cut, right? So after I go 1, I do my downward slash here like this. Now the next movement is a thrust coming up that same line. So I'm going to do a backhand thrust here like this, right? So 1, downward slash, backhand thrust, and right from there, I'm turning this into an angle 2, and I'm now stepping to my left here like this, right? From that position, I'm getting an upward thrust here, okay? And then lastly, I'm doing one more step and doing what we call a vertical redondo, okay? And now I'm ready to go again. So I'm going to do it this angle again. So this is, we call that a roof block. We call it an angle 1. This is a backhand thrust. Sometimes that's called angle 16, depending on how you're thinking about it. But think about it as like I rotate from that thrust to a backhand slash. I've got an uppercut thrust, which we call 17. Right? From there, I'm turning again, and I'm doing 2 vertical slashes, okay? So what I like to do with this then is change my direction as I'm practicing this. So we go kind of like, and it doesn't matter, you don't have to, it's not systematic, but it's something to get in the habit of changing your orientation, changing your direction. So I step out, I cut, 1, 2, 3, 4, double redondo. Now I'm going to look this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, thrust again, double redondo, roof block, slash thrust, backhand slash, thrust, double redondo, roof block, slash, thrust, backhand slash, uppercut thrust, double redondo, and now I'm back to where I started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Okay, hit. So that's a thrust back right at him. Now I'm cutting the backhand side of that other arm, getting a thrust here like this, right? Now what I can do, again, like it's meant for you to start creating your own, right? So I'm just giving you an idea, one that I like to do. But the trick is the visualization aspect. So that this person is hitting me here, so I'm cutting, slashing, thrusting right back at them. Now, I might be taking a strike here, right? So they might have maybe retracted, okay? They're gonna feed me that, they're gonna try to hit with that backhand. So after I go here, I'm now countering with a slash, and now I'm adding another thrust. Now, if that person's still there, then my double redondo would be this direction. Okay, at first I just got into this to get my footwork going, right? But then what you start to do is you start to change what your orientation is, what you're actually attacking or defending. So I go here, right? When I thrust that way, I cut, then I uppercut thrust, but then now I'm going to follow up facing that way. So then I'll roof block this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, redondo this way, roof, thrust, redondo, okay, roof, thrust, roof, slash, thrust, and then redondo that direction, and then I'm back to where I started, right? Just because one little change after I do this thrust, I'm attacking the person over there, as opposed to after I did this thrust, I went to this side. So obviously without a person, there's no right or wrong. It's you visualizing. And this again, guys, this is not some, you know, handed down grandmaster pattern. I don't want to misrepresent anything. I'm just putting together, you know, our angles of attack that we get from the Lacosta system and other systems. I mean, they almost all have the same ones. They might number them differently, along with defense, along with footwork, right? So there's a starting point for you to start to play around with, and then of course it's meant for you to build off of and add your own attacks, add your own approach. So anyways, guys, I hope you find that useful and have fun with that, and we'll see you in the next video.